Hey, Michael, how are you doing? What is your name? What do you do? And what is your problem?
Hey, Mr. Steve Sims, I'm doing very well today, and I'm so blessed to be here. I just want to say thank you to begin with. Man, what I do is I teach, mentor, and coach. And I put it in that order because really I think I'm more of a teacher than anything. My
Okay.
biggest problem, I think, was really branding right now and then scaling. I think those are the two biggest things. Obviously, some
Scaling and
social media.
branding.
Yes, sir.
All right. So okay. So let's work in reverse. A lot of people ask or get involved in marketing before they've identified two things: what problem they solve, and then secondly, and this is huge, who has that problem? Okay. So if I came to you and I said to you, "Hey, what problem do you solve? Give me that. What problem do you solve?"
So what I solve is basically helping people recreate the life that they've always wanted to have, or maybe recreate that life altogether by coaching them, changing their habits. But really, it all starts with mindset. So really and truly, I think I'm a teacher in teaching people how to change their habits because I really believe that we can change life, just one habit at a time. And really, that's the fastest way to success. But so that's for me, what I try to create for folks is that avenue or being the facilitator and that teacher of here's some methods, tools, techniques, things that you need to have to get to this next level or to completely change your life altogether. Input equals output.
All right. So why you?
Well, because I have been given that opportunity to be blessed because basically I feel a passion to help others. And so the passion to help others inside of me sees a problem, sees a solution for that because I'm solution oriented. And I think I can help you no matter what it is. I've been a paramedic for 28 years and I was a firefighter for 10. I still walk in buildings and look for fire extinguishers and AEDs. And that's why, because
Right.
I'm still in that mode of helping somebody. And so I do the same thing with coaching. And that's why people say, you're a coach. I think I'm more of a teacher, really more than anything, teaching you new habits and new ways to live so that you can have that better life that you've always wanted.
When you're taking on coaching clients, do you tell them about your paramedic and firefighting background?
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Is it exposed on your website and your branding and marketing?
I believe so. Yes, sir.
All right, okay. Well, you need to be confident on that. So you say you believe so, you need to double check on that. You see,
Yes.
here's the thing. I may not have anything in common with you. Okay. And if I've got nothing in common with you, I've got no relatability. If I've got no relatability, I've got no connection. No matter how good you are,
Right.
it's going to be like you talking to me in Korean. What you may be saying may be smart as hell, but it just doesn't come in because I can't receive it. I can't understand it. Now, when you started talking about coaching and mentoring and teaching, I'm sitting here going, oh, well, there's loads of it. Because let's be honest, I'm a cynical prick. Everybody knows that. But I'm looking at finding out, well, why can you coach me? Why can you do this? And I had no interest. I had no connection until you said to me that because of your paramedic and firefighting background, you look and recognize things. You are open to things that most people don't see because they weren't trained in it. They weren't in it. So you've really got to harness that for a start. I look for things in a building that
Yeah.
someone doesn't see. It can be right in front of them. They may step over it, but what they're stepping over is a pile of rubbish. What I'm seeing them step over is a deadly hazard. You recognize things differently. So what you've got to do is you first of all got to make sure, what is your unicorn? Okay. What makes you totally different? What is your, as Seth says, your purple cow? Okay.
Right. Yeah.
What makes you different to the person next to you at an entrepreneur's event that says, hey, I'm a coach. Great. What are you a coach in? Well, sports. Great. I'm a coach in mindset because I see things that other people don't see. So understanding your unicorn first,
Right.
exposing it within all material. Like, let's say, for I'm say, give me one of your social profiles, any social platform you've got.
Uh, Facebook.
Facebook. In your Facebook profile, are you still a fireman and paramedic?
Paramedic, yes, but not a firefighter.
Okay. But do you have in there anything that references former firefighter, paramedic, teacher, coach, mentor? Do you have that in there?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Good. Is
Across
it on
all my platforms?
Bingo. Good. So we've got the clarity, and also the person talking to you is going to go, oh, he sees things differently. He looks for hazard. He looks for internals. He looks for issues that maybe someone else couldn't see. So they understand the framework. Now, the people that have the problem, and you can look at this with your client, how long have you been coaching?
2020.
2020. Okay. So you've been in it for 4 years. Okay. So if you look at your clients, how many clients do you have?
Just a couple.
You have a couple of clients.
Yes,
Over that period of time, has it been the same clients, or has clients come and gone, come and gone, and come and gone?
Come and gone, come and gone.
That's the standard. Coaching is not long term. You have them go to 6 months, 3 months, 5 years. That's the standard kind of thing. But you should line them up. You should line up the people that you've had as coaching clients and then analyze them as an avatar. Where is the similarity between Dorothy, Betsy, Tom, and John? Now, you've had 4 years research of who the clients are that have stayed with you. What is the shortest client you've had?
30 days.
And what is the longest?
6 months.
Right. So you've got to look at any kind of similarity. Okay. And you've got to identify those. And then what you've got to do with those clients is you'll start to find some similarity between all of them. That's your avatar. Now, before you scale and brand, because a lot of people going, oh, I want to do marketing. To who? Unless you know who your client is, who are you marketing to? You're just throwing money at no one. Okay.
Yeah.
So look for similarity in those clients. And this is a 2-step. Look for similarity in those people and then ask yourself, where do they hang out? And this is very important. Do they hang out? Are they in your same town in the same coffee shop? If they are, market in there. Are they all over America, but you met them all on Facebook? That's the point of consumption there, Facebook. So understand what's the similarity between them and where they all came from and where they all congregate. Okay? That's very important. Okay? Yeah. And then the next step, and this is a tough one, you're going to enjoy this one. Yeah. Do you like them? There's a lot of people that have clients that they don't really like. Okay? Yeah. So are you getting the clients you get because you're talking in that sandpit versus getting the clients that you want that you're not talking to?
Yeah. Yeah. Now I'll be honest with you. I posted on one of your comments one time and you were asking, what's the biggest problem? And I said, getting and retaining quality clients. And you popped back in 1 minute and said, then the problem is you, bloke. And I went, whoa, oh my gosh. And I just sit back, thank you. And just left it at that. And I was like, it obviously is. So,
So how are you marketing and getting your clients now?
I really just do Facebook. I do a little Instagram and a little bit on LinkedIn, but I don't do a lot of stuff because I have another small business that I run. And that's really what I do 50, 60 hours a week. What
is your business?
I own a medical training company. So I took being a paramedic for all my years and was teaching for everywhere that I worked and then took my business full time. And then I've been able to live off that now 9 years full time.
And you want to do more coaching? Why?
I just have had this surge of, all these years I've been a teacher. I've actually taught for nearly my whole career, 26, 27 years, advanced life support classes, anything you can think of. And people will always say, Mike, in your classes, I always love it because I get to class, but I always get motivation and inspiration and you always give me good stuff. And it just got thrown out one day. Have you ever thought about being a coach? You're such a great teacher. You'd be a great coach. And I was like, I started thinking about it and I listened to Zig Ziglar and do all these things. And I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. And next thing you know, it kind of came to fruition. I became a Tony Robbins coach, Zig coach, and just kind of started spinning my wheels there. But the main thing is I just feel like I can teach, and so that's kind of why I jumped into the coaching side.
All right. So let me ask you a quick question. How much do you charge your clients per month?
$500 for 30 days.
And what do they get for that 500?
They're going to get a first strategy session with me. The first time that we meet, we'll talk and go through this whole plan, and we'll set up basically a blueprint and a step-by-step plan of action. And, we'll go through basic, I've done this research and evidence-based research, try to show them some things that if you do this, this will work. And then the next thing basically we do is we meet 1 hour after that every single week. And I give them assignments and homework, and we do things like that to help them grow.
Is it group coaching or is it one-on-one phone call?
One-on-one.
It's a one-on-one. So they get strategy and then they get a call with you 1 hour every week for the entire month for $500. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Right. And are you giving them value that is profiting their business more than $500?
I believe so. As a matter of fact, I think I overload my my folks a lot of times.
All right.
I think I give them too much sometimes.
All right. Okay. So when you start selling things for $30, you end up with a $30 client. Okay. Yeah. So what you've got to ask yourself, and this was brought to my attention many, many years ago, is it doesn't matter, who you are, what you look like, what you know, what you don't know. But if you can solve someone pain, charge them accordingly. Okay. Now, let me ask you this as a paramedic. If someone's laying in the car and the car's just about to erupt in flames, how much do you think they're going to pay you to get them out?
Right. Anything.
Everything. Right? Yeah. Absolutely everything. Because at that moment is a death-defying situation that they need someone that can actually help. Okay. Right. Yeah. They need you. It's worth their life for you.
Yeah.
So when you're coaching, a lot of people, and I've noticed this many times, stop looking at how much you charge and start looking at the value you bring. And if you're getting clients moaning at the price tag, either you're not worth it or you haven't demonstrated the value. So ask yourself quite openly, with what I do with my clients, and I actually love the fact that you call them your patients, because it shows how much you care. So I love that. I love that fraudulent slip. But the fact that you have these people within your life and you're focusing on them 4 times a month, which personally I think is too much. Okay. You don't have a lot of time for you to be able to implement big things in 7 days. So I would straight away cut that down to 2 weeks. All right. I promise once a month. I end up speaking to my clients a lot more than once a month, but I'm $3,000 a month. I'm $2,850 a month. So I look at it and I go, does what I do, who I know, what I can pull off, benefit them more than $3,000 a month?
Right.
Now, if it doesn't, I'm ripping them off. Can't take them on as a client. If it does, then I'm providing value. But if you're doing all of that for $500, my concern is that they're valuing you at $500, and you're probably talking to them like a $500 client. You should start putting your prices up based on the value you bring. I'd like you on a piece of paper, because we retain things better when we write them down.
Yes, sir.
I'd like you to write down a structure straight away 2 times a month. Strategy session, and then twice a month. Got to give time for people to implement the communication that you've had with them. Okay?
Yep.
And write it down, what it is you do, what problems you solve, who are your perfect avatars that have that problem. Not your clients, but who has that problem. Let's say, if I'm to say, when I was a concierge, I wanted to have conversations with affluent people. So I looked at affluent people and I went, what problems have they got? And a lot of people look at rich people and go, oh, they've got no problems. They all had the same problem. They wanted to show off at a cocktail party. They wanted a better story. So my solution was, I'll give you the best cocktail story in the room.
Right.
And that was it.
Right.
I provided value. People didn't mind spending hundreds of thousands of dollars with me because I was providing the solution to that problem. And that problem was a better cocktail story.
Right.
You've got to focus on what are you answering? Is it improving their business? Is it improving their mindset that improves their relationships? What are you doing? What is the outcome? And what would they pay for that outcome?
Yeah.
Have you ever analyzed or maybe coached yourself to look at what it is you actually do?
Yeah, and I've definitely had a lot of introspective look lately, trying to figure out what is it that I really do, because I'm a co-author in 3 books, and so everybody loves to throw that tag when you go somewhere. I'm an author, I'm a podcaster, I'm a coach, I'm a speaker, and all this stuff. And my wife and I were talking about it, and I was like, I need to get this really down. What am I really? I said, really and truly, I'm a speaker. I've been speaking on stages forever, giving presentations on heart awareness and all this for 100 years for American Heart. It just, I can get on stage in front of anybody. I said, so truthfully, I'm a speaker, and you give me any subject and I can speak, but I can also teach that. And she goes, well, that's like your number one thing. You're a teacher. I'm like, well, I teach through speaking. So that's and she was like, so now we're bringing it back. So then I don't really like to write books. So we'll put books on number 4 down here. And so that's why I started going, all right, so teacher, speaker, mentor, because I like that. And then coach, because I do love to coach and I do love to help people. But I think that my top talent would really be like, hey, I teach and I speak. And that's kind of like if I drove one path and was like, where's my clarity going, that I concentrate on, that's where I'm like, I need to run that way. But as you said, I have to have that, what am I really going to solve? Because I can just get out there and speak, and the motivation thing, that's not there anymore.
At the beginning of this, you said you could coach anyone out of their problems.
Right.
Okay. That's a brash statement. Okay. Right. And that's quite arrogant.
Right.
And now you just said I could speak on any subject. Okay. Again, arrogance and brash. What I would like you to consider is what can you outspeak somebody else on? We could all sit there and consume a Zig Ziglar book or read, 3 Feet from Gold or any of Jay Abraham's books and then get up on stage and regurgitate it. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
But if we were stood next to someone like Zig Ziglar, Greg Reed, Jay Abraham, could we outspeak them on the subject? And that's when the answer is obviously a big fat no. Wow. So what you've got to do is you've got to identify what can you outspeak someone on? And then that comes back to your unicorn. What is your unicorn? Now, I'm on stages with people smarter than me, funnier than me, better looking than me, richer than me, but I can outspeak them on certain subjects. And that's where my unicorn is. And that's why I keep getting booked. You've got to stop being able to coach everyone and coach only a few with the 4 things that you can focus on. You've got to be able to stop speaking on stage about everything and be able to speak on stage about one thing. You've got to fine-tune your knife. That will be the lethal weapon that you have, and nothing else is around. That's what you've got to do. When you can actually drag it down to that pinpoint accuracy and go, that's me. I can out-teach, out-coach, out-speak anybody on that one thing. And that may be visualizing a problem based on your skill set from firefighter to paramedic. It may be teaching people that maybe are hard to teach based on your teaching education from your medical industry. You may be how to write books and get over the fact you don't like writing books. You've got to drag it down to what is your unicorn? What can you outspeak? You stand side by side against anybody in the planet, and that's your unicorn. So what you've really got to do, you've got to go deep. I want you to focus on what can you out-teach, what can you outspeak on, and identify that. And then I want you to be able to hold your hand up and go, all right then, so Michael, what do you actually do? I show you how to see danger before it becomes danger. You know, how to identify a problem that other people don't see. Something like that, because based on your conversation, when you walk into a room, you're identifying exits, locations, situations, possibilities of problematic areas. Yep. You're seeing that matrix that a lot of people don't see. That articulate and analytical mindset allows you to visualize things other people don't see. I think you've got to fine tune it down to that and stop being a jack of all and start to become an educator of one. Yeah. And when you do that, you can stand up side by side someone and you can go, I can outspeak and outteach on this thing. I can't top you because I'm not in your sandpit, but I've got this one thing.
Makes sense. Yeah.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And what I would also suggest you do is don't do the work yourself. So you've been coaching since 2020. I would send out an email to all of your coaching clients, the longest ones and the shortest ones, and going, hey, if you were to put it into 3 things that I helped you with, what would those 3 things be? I'll find out if 1 or 2 of those rise to the top. Okay. Does that make sense?
Yes, sir. Let me write that down before I forget it.
Well, thankfully, because you came with the problem, is going to be on the YouTube training. So, you know, what your problem is, I guarantee is somebody else has got. So I'm very honored and proud that you actually stepped up to acknowledge you had that question, because someone out there, maybe not as fortunate as you to have this conversation, but does have the same problem. And now they can sit there and analyze what that unicorn is.
Absolutely. Well, I know you're the branding specialist, man. So I definitely.
I'm certainly not a master expert or specialist. I fail a lot and I'm an eternal student. So that's how I get to do what I do. So I'm glad it was an aggravating problem that actually put you out to have this conversation. I'm very proud you're part of the Sims Distillery and Speakeasy family. So thank you for being part of that. Absolutely. And did this help?
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%.
Then, Michael, go and get the clients that you want by offering them the one problem that only you can outteach and outspeak on.
I'm looking forward to it.
Cheers, pal. Look after yourself.
Thank you, sir. Have a blessed day.
Bye. Hey, this is Steve Sims, and I hope you liked that episode of Being Coached by Steve Sims. Subscribe over here, watch some other cool videos over here, or for your chance to be coached by me for the YouTube series, join here at simsdistillery.com.